Hello, Tamara Green here for A Course in Miracles, lesson number 16. All right, to get started, I love to gently twist the spine to help release tension in our back, in our upper, middle, lower back. You can do this sitting on a chair. If you are sitting on a chair, move forward, be in the forward part of the chair and feet flat on the floor. I'm standing up. You can join me with standing up. Okay, here we go. So breathe in all the way and we stretch up. And then we gently twist to one side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. Breathe in. Twist to the other side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. And breathe in. And the other side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. And last one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. Last deep breath in. And that feels good. Okay. So, A Course in Miracles, lesson number 16. I have no neutral thoughts. The idea for today is a beginning step in dispelling the belief that your thoughts have no effect. Everything you see is the result of your thoughts. There is no exception to this fact. Thoughts are not big or little, powerful or weak. They are merely true or false. Those that are true create their own likeness. Those that are false make theirs. There is no more self-contradictory concept than that of idle thoughts. What gives rise to the perception of a whole world can hardly be called idle. Every thought you have contributes to truth or to illusion. Either it extends the truth or multiplies illusions. If you indeed multiply nothing, but you will not extend it by doing so. Besides your recognizing that thoughts are never idle, salvation requires that you also recognize that every thought you have brings either peace or war, love or fear. A neutral result is impossible because a neutral thought is impossible. There's nothing a temptation to dismiss fear thoughts as unimportant, trivial, and not worth bothering about, that it is essential that you recognize them as equally destructive but equally unreal. We will practice this idea in many forms before you really understand it. In applying the idea for today, search your mind for a minute or so with eyes closed and actively seek not to overlook any little thought that may tend to elude the search. This is quite difficult until you get used to it. You will find that it is still hard for you not to make artificial distinctions. Every thought that occurs to you, regardless of the qualities that you assign to it, is a suitable subject for applying today's idea. In the practice periods, first repeat the idea to yourself, and then, as each one crosses your mind, hold it in awareness while you tell yourself, this thought about blank is not a neutral thought. That thought about blank is not a neutral thought. As usual, use today's idea whenever you're aware of a particular thought that arouses uneasiness. The following form is suggested for this purpose. This thought about blank is not a neutral thought because I have no neutral thoughts. 4 or 5 practice periods are recommended if you find them relatively effortless. If strain is experienced, 3 will be enough. The length of the exercise period should also be reduced if there is discomfort. Okay, basically, if you're thinking, you're stinking. especially if it's fear-based, or definitely if it's fear-based. So most of our thoughts, if you really explore them and observe them and witness them, you realize they're not neutral. They're packed with meaning. Oof, there are a lot of meaning going on. we judge them as good or bad or terrifying or whatever. So they are not neutral. What I'd like to do right now then is to do like a little mini meditation. Well, first, before I do the meditation, I once read in a book, it's a wonderful book by Pema Chodron called am I getting the title right? When Things Fall Apart. She talks about in the beginning of her Buddhist practice, they would sit for hours and hours and even days and days just witnessing, observing their thoughts and being in the practice of going, oh yeah, thinking. I'm just thinking, not having any judgment, just observing it, witnessing it, and just saying to themselves whenever another thought popped in, yep, thinking, just thinking. Right? So it's the same idea here. We're not giving any meaning to it, not judging thoughts. We all have thoughts. We all have plenty of thoughts. But this little mini meditation I'm going to do with you is kind of a visual to what we can do with our thoughts. So now imagine you're a mountain. You're a big, beautiful mountain. And just like a mountain, you are stable. You are sturdy. You are at peace. You are present. You are even loving. Think of all that the mountain gives to all that resides there, lives there. Lives off the mountain, very giving, loving. We can even say, because it's true, you are eternal, just like a mountain. And the thoughts just are little clouds drifting over the mountains. They don't stay. They just come one by one, and they drift over the mountains. Some clouds are big, voluminous, and ominous. And those are probably filled with meaning, lots of fear. And other ones are just really light, wispy clouds just drifting by. Our job is we can recognize them, notice them, witness them, observe them, but not place any judgment on having the thought or the thought itself. Just noticing it. No big whoop. I had another thought. Big whoopee. Just another cloud over my eternal, present, loving, true self. That's it. Okay, that's it for today's idea, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.